It's your boy Seani B, and we are officially in lockdown. And I'm doing this for radio, but I'm also on a Zoom call with a absolute superstar of the business of dancehall and reggae, Shaggy, up online. What go on, Shaggy?
Well, you're not hype it up, so you make it look so
No, we can't give you. I can't give you the
hype. Appreciate the hype, Seani.
Yeah. I can't give you an ordinary intro. I can't give you an ordinary intro. Now, Shaggy, the last time I saw you, can you remember the last time I saw you? Let me see if you remember.
The last time I saw you was in Jamaica, and we were at Spice's restaurant.
That's a lie. You see? You summoned me. You summoned me about 3 weeks ago to a show in London, just at the beginning of
That
this.
is right. That is right. Yes, yes. We were doing the. I forget something to say after that for real. Yes, we did the tour with me, Nelly, Eve, and a couple of us, Maya, and all of us. And I invited you to the London show.
And that was just at the beginning. That was just at the beginning of this Corona madness. Literally, right, like 2 days
because
before.
The very next day I played Birmingham, and then we made a split decision not to fly out. We was going to take Birmingham and go somewhere else and then go to New York. And our tour manager says, I don't trust this. We're going to drive to London and jump on a straight flight. And It was lucky that Rossi made that call, because we did that. And the very next day, they closed the borders. So had we have gone the other way, it would have been crazy.
So I take it the team, you're okay, the family's okay, everybody is A-okay?
Everybody's okay, except me, Stockcastle. I'm in New York.
Well, are you in New York?
Yeah, this is one of the room I'm in a studio. I'm stuck at my studio in New York.
Where would you prefer to be at this time?
I'd rather be with my kids in Jamaica at my home, with my wife and my kids, and at my home. But this is my studio. This is where, I mean, I've built everything here from Wasn't Me, Gone, Angel, everything. I've had this place for years, since 1996. And it has just been my spot where I create music. There's bedrooms here. I did Out of Anyone music with Sly and Robbie. They came, they stayed here, and Robbie cook back to back. From oxtail, go straight back down to soup, to fried fish, to everything. And cook and play bass. And so we have 2 rooms in here, in a place. So I've just kept it for years. So I'm stuck here.
So how do you feel not being back at home with the family during this crisis?
It's devastating. It's devastating. It's good in one sense, because obviously I've dropped the Hotshots 2020 album, and so I'm doing a lot of promo. Like, this is easy. I got my whole setup here. I got my lights, my cameras, my tripods, my whole drama.
You got the hat.
The hat, yeah. I got everything show business wise here. I got live. If I want to do a live band setup, I might have to call in. That would be quarantining, but I got everything set up here. So to promote the record is good. I've done every television, and more still coming in. I have probably about 15 promos to do today, and it comes on a daily basis. That's good. As far as Jamaica's concerned, I'm not around my kids, and I'm not around my wife, and I'm not around my immediate family, So that is a drawback, and especially my girls. I miss my girls,
I hear that. So we're going to talk about this Hotshots 2020, but first of all, disclaimer, what am I allowed to talk about? Because the last time I saw you...
Anything.
the last time you told me off.
Seani be a snitch.
I'm not a snitch. I'm not a snitch. Explain yourself. Explain yourself now, Orville. Come on, explain yourself.
Seani B, I was in Jamaica at we're at Spice's restaurant,
yeah.
And I brought you in the car. I said, come to my car, and I played you some songs.
Lots of songs.
And some of it was some of my own stuff, and some of the stuff that I planned to put out on Ranch. And then there was one particular one that I did want you to talk about, and you kind of spoke about it. But now I remind the people. But now, but I remind
hey, you spoke about it though. You spoke about it on a stage. That's why I went back and spoke about it on the radio.
What stage was this?
At the Jamaica Music Conference. You see the
I
thing is with you, yeah, Shaggy, and Rossi testified. Rossi, your road manager, testified to this. You see, when Shaggy is amongst the man them, and when I say the man them, Jamaica, and him get into one, his mouth go, and his road manager said, Seani, I've got your back on that. You see how he's stroking him in?
Which I lie.
You get happy, Shaggy.
Yo, I'm coming like an old, I swear to God, I'm coming like an old fridge. I can't keep nothing to rot in that.
So we're gonna
I'm coming like a bigger snitch now, yo.
I'm glad we've cleared that up. So we are allowed to talk about the first single that has been released. It Wasn't Me, 20 years on.
We'll talk about the album and all of them things. Yeah, man, no problem.
So tell me about the album. Tell me about the concept behind the album. It's 20 years on, the multi-platinum selling, millions upon millions, taking over charts. The album that locked down the whole of like 1 year from 1991, 1990 straight through.
If we really have to think about it, the Hotshots album was not, yes, it was a classic album, but it was also instrumental in shifting the needle for the culture, you know, for dancehall itself. Because remember, a lot of the things that we did earlier in these days, we weren't getting the support. You know, that dancehall itself wasn't getting that support. You know what I mean? Like, take for instance, if you go like, if you remember in the Old Carolina time when we did Old Carolina, and we came in, that record was already on Greensleeve and was really at radio and was already being played heavily on radio.
I've got it on the shelf somewhere up here.
Exactly. So by the time I went to Virgin, when they sat down in their meeting Monday morning, they didn't have to think about whether or not they're going to come up with a marketing budget for a dancehall artist where there's no format on major radio for. You know what I'm saying? It was already happening. And then the next song we put out was a song that was attached to a Levi's commercial, which the Levi's commercial was released. So it debuted at #1. So it automatically went into radio. So they didn't have to sit down and worry about coming up with an idea for a radio budget, you know what I mean, in the record company. Then the next one come out, you know what I mean? And that's when the problems start, because now we didn't have those platforms to help you. You got to go on Shaggy, and they're going to sit down and say, well, are we really going to put £2 million in marketing a dancehall artist? There's really no lane for it. Well, Shaggy has done it, but he's the only one. And so you get that kind of situation. What Hotshot did, there was a record called It Wasn't Me that was played because they sat down with that album and they said, we're going to come with the Jam and Lewis song first, and we're going to go to marketing on it. We're going to put a budget together. What is the budget? Well, you know, it's dancehall. You know, there's not a lot of success rate on it. You know, it never sells over 1 million. You know, and they're going to have all of those. And that CEO is going to be saying, do I really put this kind of money in? Or do I put something? So it's all right, you know this because you've heard this. Let's give them some mix show money. We get some money to work the mix shows and street records. Yeah, and then we'll see how it go, you know? And that's what they did. But then there was a DJ in Hawaii that started playing an album track from the album called It Wasn't Me. And once he played it, his phones lit up, and then it snowballed into many other stations, which became this massive things. So what Hotshot did now was, it sold 10 million and it was humongous. We were selling numbers like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and these guys that get the real budget. You know, Hotshot was moving somewhere in the neighborhood of about 500,000 records a week. You know what I mean? So we're selling gold a week. You know, so
CDs.
Vinyl and CDs. So at that point, what it did was, one, the next record, there was an argument. There wasn't any argument about whether you're going to spend money on the act. And two, it helped such artists as Sean Paul, who was signed right after that. And Sean Paul was signed with Craig Cameron, who was the president of the company. He helped to A&R the record. So he didn't have to do anything when he sat down and says, okay, I'm going to put $2 million or $1 million or whatever it is on a radio marketing budget for Sean Paul. His boss upstairs might call and says, "What are you doing putting $1 million or $1.5 million on some dancehall artist? Are you crazy?"
Question.
And Craig Calvin is going to say, "What are you talking about? Look at Shaggy."
Question though, Shaggy. Was Shabba getting those kind of marketing and budgetings?
No. You remember Shabba only sold gold. As Shabba's persona and
the
brand was bigger than his actual sales. He never went to pop radio. He only sold urban. You know what I mean? So the Johnny Gill record and the Maxi Peace record, they weren't top 40 records. They were urban crossover. They went to urban crossover. That was it.
So you was the first guy to really kick off the door.
And a lot of those Shabba records weren't released in the UK. Think about that. Shabba's first UK release was a song called Mr. Loverman.
Yeah. I was working in a record shop, I think, at the time.
No, I'm telling you that. I'm not asking. These aren't things, you know me, I'm a wealth of knowledge, right?
Sorry.
We will go to you and tell you dates. You know the things. You know what we are talking to.
I know.
So with Hotshot, it was very instrumental to the moving of the needle. So you can imagine remember in the first quarter of Hotshot, it sold about 100, or I think the first half of Hotshot's release, it sold 150 million for the record label. So you can understand the catalog sale of it has been very good. And It Wasn't Me is one of those songs that is very recurrent with her young acts. So the label came to me and asked me, would I do an anniversary album? And I said, why would I do that? The classics are out there. And they said, well, what's incentivized to them is that if we do an anniversary album of it, new recordings of the same record, they now have something else to sell. So they could sell something else and make more money. So to incentivize me to do it now, they say, hey, what we'll do to make you do that is we'll pay you to do it, and we'll share in the master ownership of it. So instead of them owning the Hotshot masters 100%, we'd own it 50-50. And they said they will swap out the existing Hotshot songs with all the samples and all of those, right? Swap out the DSPs with the new ones. Can't beat that deal.
Is it fair to say that Shaggy is a new businessman since rolling with Sting for a little while?
He has helped a lot, but I've learned a lot of stuff on my
I hear that. So on the album.
So what I did was, we ended up doing that because my former producer at the time and I had a falling out, and he went with the hard drive. So with the album, what I did now, I had to present something new to them. And what I presented to them was 5 of the top streamed Hotshot songs. Angel, It Wasn't Me, Love Me, Keeping It Real. And then I just did the title track, Hotshot. We did him over. We did him over in a 2020 style.
It wasn't me, but the thing is, with It Wasn't Me, and I loved it. I loved it in the car park of Spice's. We was in the halfway tree at the time.
Yeah,
I can't remember the plaza. I appreciate it even more because your car system sounds very good. It's very clear.
It's not me, that's Porsche. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't put that extra system there.
You was the selector looking at me like with a drunken smirk, like, hey boy, we are gonna do with this when you play this on the radio. Yo, it's fire. Yeah. I like the old school feeling it, but with that modern kick and that modern oomph.
The thing about it, I didn't want to take away from the authenticity of the original track because it's so classic, and how do you mess with a classic? However, initially when we did it, I was a dancehall artist, right? The music itself was really a smooth hip-hop R&B style of a beat. You know this. There was not much dancehall in it. The dancehall came to how I was spitting the lyrics, right? That's what brought it dancehall. The rest of the record is really an R&B hip-hop style of a record. What this gave me the opportunity that now that we have fought for dancehall and the sounds of dancehall, and that dancehall music is now popular and is now it is now the sound of the mainstream. why wouldn't I take advantage of it? So I just changed the drums to those classic dancehall records once the DJ part come in. If you notice, I put like the Punan sound, I put, I mean, all of the,
everything is in there.
right, all the classic ones that we know, that was deliberately done in celebration of what Hotshot and It Wasn't Me did for the culture of dancehall. That's why we did it like that.
And I know that's very important to you right now, just from the discussions that we had in Jamaica, just from the discussions that I've had with Sean. I see you guys as the forefront runners of what we do, but standing up for the music right now, Shaggy. I'm so proud.
We are. And a lot of people don't like to give the credit for it, because I argue every now and then that I'm conveniently reggae. You know what I mean? It's like when they are conveniently dancehall, because when somebody say, you know, they might try to get a dancehall deal, and somebody in the room say, well, you know, dancehall doesn't do much numbers. You know what I mean? You look at it, it's the lowest streaming numbers of everything. Afrobeat numbers are high. Reggaeton numbers are high. Hip-hop numbers are high. And we understand all those genres are a birth child of dancehall, but dancehall numbers are really, really low. They say, no, what are you talking about? Look at Shaggy. Then I'm dancehall. But then when Shaggy win the Grammy, I said, he's winning Grammy. He's not even dancehall.
I hear you.
So I'm conveniently dancehall. So at the end of the day, I have to live with that, and they don't give the credit where it's there. So no, me no wait for credit, me take it.
They just do it, yeah, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take my credit, and I am not. Numbers don't lie. Shaggy, Sean Paul, Bob Marley, 3 highest streamers. Me not care about nobody else. Me not care about who you want to. And when you look at the numbers, the rest of the competition is nowhere near those numbers. So let's call a spade a spade. Let's not talk about this one I stream and that one I run dancehall and this one I run. There's no bigger representative of dancehall music around the world than Shaggy and Sean Paul. I'm sorry, right? And in the field of reggae, the great Bob Marley. Talk it low, talk it straight, say what you want, say, go check the numbers them itself.
Could you just do that with your hat? Like, just do that.
So
when we sat down in the Porsche, I'm sure that some of the names that I heard on certain songs, Anthony Hamilton was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still part of the project?
We actually didn't end up using the Anthony Hamilton one because he forgot to sing the bridge.
What song was he on? Was he on it? Was it me?
He was always me.
It was. I knew that was a different vocal.
Yeah, he sang
the bridge.
He did, but he forgot the bridge. And so I called him. I said, Anthony, you didn't sing the bridge. He's like, I didn't? I'm like, and so he's been touring. And I said, yo, you got to sing the bridge. You got to sing the bridge. Oh, yeah, I got it. Because he's been on the run and didn't get to go back to his studio. And by the time he got back to the studio to do the bridge, we had to release. So we ended up doing just a straight version.
So that was one name. The other name I remember, you got Sting back into the studio on a song that I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
How you get Sting to sing that?
Well, Sting is on 2-track.
Go on.
Sting is also singing the chorus on Angel.
That was the one.
Because we did it live every night on the tour, and he loved it. And it was like, yo, I gotta be a part of the project. And so we went ahead, and a lot of this album in doing it, Sting had a lot of influence in doing it. First of all, to do over the tracks, he thought it was a good idea to do them over because he just did My Songs, which is all of his songs, and it sold well and he did well. And it's like, dude, they're your songs. You can, and he explained it to me the best way. He says, if you have a kid, can anybody tell you how to dress your kid? Today, you might want to give him a red sweater. Tomorrow morning, it might be a blue one. It's your kid. These are my songs.
So you do what you want to do.
If I want to mix them 5 million, we are my song. See? So at the end of the day, I looked at it like that. And so we ended up doing those five songs, but I also threw in songs like Oh Carolina, Mr. Boombastic, Strength of a Woman, and Hey Sexy Lady, redone 2020 style. Then I added 4 new songs. One of the new songs happened to be a song called Primavera, which is Sting and Shaggy. Another Sting and Shaggy vibe that we did. We cooked that up for it. And then I ended up doing over Electric Avenue, which you heard.
Yes.
And I did over one of my favorite of all time, Peter Tosh's Buckingham Palace. And it's sentimental to me because, not because of the weed smoking or anything upon it, it's really instrumental to me and emotional or sentimental, I should say, for the lack of a better word, because of Robbie Shakespeare. And you know, if you know, Robbie Shakespeare is like my dad. It's that close with me and Robbie. You know, it's everyday phone call type of thing with me and Robbie.
Have you learned how to play the basses yet, though?
No, I leave that to the experts. But they tried. You know who tried to teach me to play it? It wasn't even Robbie. It was Steve.
Seriously?
Yeah, we're at his house in Italy, and he started. He was showing me the guitar and bass. Yeah, so he was, and I caught a couple of vibe, and I started playing. I ended up writing a joint and all of that. Catch him up. I got play a liquor. I'm just not knowing, you know.
So we're gonna see you sitting down with a chair, acoustic style, Shaggy.
Maybe one day, but not right now.
If that ever happened, yeah, the level of bossy this year will go through the net. It'll be ridiculous.
Maybe one day.
It'll be horrible. Please don't bless him with playing the guitar. We can't manage some more. We just can't manage some more. Oh man. So Hotshots is the album. The songs are out there. What do you want?
The album is not going to be out till June 12th.
Okay.
June 10th, I think.
So the single is out there.
June 12th. Sorry, my bad.
There's me jumping the gun because I hear things already. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, June 12th.
I ain't gonna let out no more secrets, Shaggy. I won't even talk about what else I heard in the car. All of that is fully embargoed.
But what you've heard, isn't it such unfortunate that the corona hit right now? Because me, I tell you, this summer I wasn't gonna be normal. Shaggy! Oh my God!
You see the link up with the flag where you have behind you, and if I had a UK flag here, you see that link up there, yeah? Flipping heck. Fucking hell, blood.
God.
That link up there is sick. So when can we expect all of these things that I'm talking about and not talking about, Shaggy?
Yeah. Everything is in limbo right now. I'm even struggling just to get even a video. I just did a lyric cartoon video for it. It wasn't me. I can't do. You know, one thing that stopped us on that big record, that main record, was the fact that we couldn't get a video done, and we didn't want to go out there without.
Now that's important to have.
Yeah, without guns blazing. Our guns blazing.
Yeah, that's important.
Right now, we have to just wait until this thing clear up so that we can go. There's no other way. We thought of so many other things. We've had meetings after meetings in ways in which we can release within this quarantine time. Or we couldn't. We have to do Hotshot because of the fact that we have some television shows that were pre-done, pre-taped, including The Bachelor, which is the highest rated show in America. And we had them pre-done in promotion of Hotshot. We couldn't not stop those, so we had to release. And if we had put the album back and not release a single, you'd be out there doing and promoting songs with dates and all of that didn't match up. So we had to go with that. But everything else we have to wait. We have no choice.
Well, we're going to drop the single right now, and I just want to say blessings and stay safe. You know what I mean? Keep it very sanitized in the studio and all these kind of things there. And,
you know me one day, like I have none of my assistants in here. My housekeepers in here. I'm just here. Mr. Cook.
Can you cook? You can't cook?
Jamaica I come from.
That don't mean nothing around. You know that.
First of all, I get to my band.
Yeah, so what that means? So I don't know get a man that can't cook. See? I know get a man who can't cook.
Any get a man who can't cook. Me say
all of my bridges them there for cook still I run a boat. we run
Any
boat
man
regular.
who come from ghetto and used to run boat.
Right.
See, and can't cook. Them workless.
So what have you learned? What have you learned that you can do, or you've learned or taught yourself to do in this time?
It's not. It's like, you know, cooking is like muscle memory. It's like working out. You know this because you're a workout freak. So you get right back into it. But when you're cook, you get to a point where you say, you start get confidence. After a while, the first one you might, okay, do I saute the vegetables first and then the thing, or do I put the thing first and then, you start mess up the part. But then once you get it, and then say, okay, yeah, but I'm gonna do this now. Then you start get,
you got a couple pots on the go.
Yeah. And then you start get confident. You start thinking like you're Gordon Ramsay or something, And then you start add some other thing. Then your portion get big because you want to cook for them.
Wait, hold on. Why you have to go Gordon Ramsay though? What's the most famous chef out of Jamaica, blood? Come on now. Don't let down the team now.
Chef.
Yeah.
Who that?
Well, you have no famous chef out of Jamaica where
Screechy.
Like you just said,
my chef was Screechy out on the beach. So
which part them? Upper Elsha? The
Yes.
boss. I'm the boss.
All right, and Screechy come on my yard.
Oh, seriously?
Come on, man.
Sorry. Yeah. I forgot I was speaking to Shaggy for a moment.
No, aside from that, Screechy, I'm a virgin for years. I know Screechy for years from a little boy. And so he's a man where I grew up with, and I'm a family grew up with. My wife used to out there as a young girl when him live out there. So if me a function and me call Screechy, and him come deal with that thing for me. You know what I mean? So and people love him. Screechy does his part of my family, know me, them and everything. So yeah.
Oh, now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
Screechy. Yeah,
something just come to my mind.
So if you come on my yard, you get fish festival, mommy. Lobster.
Is that an invite? That sounds like an invite right there, Seani.
Anytime, bro. You've always come. When you come to Jamaica, I never did it yet.
True that.
It's lucky we got lucky. And matter of fact, you came for the music.
Jamaica. Like I was just talking about that, yeah. Yeah. And it's just, I need you to do this. I need you to do this because I've actually searched for the clippings, and I'm not doing this for my benefit. I'm doing this for the benefit of the culture.
Of the culture, yes.
You, it's not for my benefit. You said something up on the stage at the Jamaica Music Conference, and that's all I'm going to say to you. Do you remember what you said on the stage that night?
I said many things, so you can't narrate down to that.
And then you called me up on the stage.
No, what I was saying is that the first time I heard of coffee was that BBC One Extra thing you did at Tough Gum.
Right, with Mr. Jam and myself, yeah.
Exactly. And she was beside Chronix, and he was singing, and then she came into that verse. And then she spit a freestyle, and she was like dope. And I remember seeing it on my thing, because I reposted it. And I commented like, yo, fire, new artist, rah, rah, rah. I'm saying, I don't know all this, but this wicked, rah, rah. I was bigging it up. And then that clip became very viral. Mm-hmm. And I said, really, if anyone is supposed to put their finger on it and say, who's the guy that's responsible for letting the world know about coffee, it would be Seani B. And you are absolutely the person that did it. I said, I was on record saying that. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right.
And the reason why is because, and this ain't even part of the interview, because I need some of the powers that be to understand what we do when we go to Jamaica and we document the culture in the way that we document it.
But I also said something else to you the other day. I said, big ups to you for going to Jamaica and doing this whole, because there are many guys that have been in that seat before you, right? And we've all know their name, and I've been friends with all of them. But you took it to another level. But in fairness to them also, we're in a different time because we're in a visual
Of course,
time.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And a content time. But you went and you created content for the show that really resonates with your audience, and which is part of showcasing the culture and where it's from. Because it's easy for people to take the culture and appropriate it as their own. None of these guys that are doing dancehall as we see it, and by the way, it's 90s dancehall that they're all copying, by the way, FYI. None of them are given the credit to it, which is what myself and Sean have a problem with, is not crediting the culture. Do you get what I'm saying? So to me, what you do, showcase that to let them know, yeah, this is where the culture is from. And if anybody in Jamaica don't understand the importance of what you're doing, just from what it did for coffee, they're an idiot. First of all, one of the smartest guys in music. I know this. You did a whole special on him, which is what my youth the name again? Tell this old age thing I read. Protoje.
Right.
I find him as to be one of the smartest guys in the game because he's getting it, the vision. I might not love all his music. I'm the first to tell you that. But he's a very, very brilliant guy. And one thing you'll never do is outwork him.
True.
I love that about Protoje. He's an incredible worker, very smart guy. And, you know, and as they go, what I say about the music is his personal taste to where I am and to where they are. But I love what he's doing, and he's creating a coalition. He's creating a movement. He's creating a vibe. I have one word of advice to him. Paper everything. No one is your friend. Paper. If Protoje is listening to me right now, I say, paper everything. Paper everything. Any man who no want to sign your contract left your yard right away. They must not step into your place. See, and not be signed onto your thing. Because the minute they leave and say, yeah, but me, they're Protoje, I mean, that gets them in the door. Because you have now moved your brand to where it is now recognizable by the forces that be. So any man who come there and dip on a tune with you, them can walk and go have a conversation in another room with somebody, and it gets them a leg up. That comes with a price because you built that brand to there. So any word of advice from them, step in paper them, no business. Any man who don't like that, go out of yard. I didn't do that. So I'm telling people from my mistakes, you know what I mean? And I ended up being used by a lot of them. Remember, no, Hotshots come out. 11 people bought homes and started their lives. Multiple homes, some of them. Where are any of them now?
You one day in that studio right now.
I'm the only one, yes, but I'm the brand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking. Well, it's clear who, you know, everybody can sit on and say they make a shot, and they were involved and they did this and they did that. What have they done outside of me? Ask that question. I can tell you things I've done outside of them.
And if you want to hear that side of the story from Shaggy, go and listen to the Walk One album. Because I think you talk about that quite a lot on that album right there, trust me.
The only thing I was sorry about that, it was a great album. I wanted it to be a good album, but it was my last album on Brooklyn Nights 300. And I knew going into it that because it's the last album and they didn't have an option to pick me up, they weren't going to spend money on it. But I still wanted the product to be a really, really good record. So they'll just leave that album and have it as a catalog album. Funny enough, part of the deal I did on that last album is that it reverts back to me. So at the end of the year, that album is owned by me.
Masters.
So
watch your swag. Watch your swag. Listen, Shaggy, it's always a blessing, my brother. Like truly.
It's ownership. You got to do ownership, brother. It's what it is.
And you told me about that as well. Huh? We're trying. Look.
I said it.
But then I'm a studio with my things, fam. With my things.
Do not let them do you like the others. Remember, you and I had that conversation deeply. Okay.
I'm listening. Okay. Shaggy, listen, stay safe. Bless up the family every time. We'll speak soon, yeah?
Give thanks again for the platform. All right.
Blessings, my brother. Stay safe, Shaggy.